Hello class 2, welcome to your English literature class children. Today we will do page number 117 and that is chapter 11 of your book. Right? So open your English book. This is our English book, Mulberry, New Mulberry part 2. And today we will do page number 117, that is 117, and chapter is chapter 11. Okay, Saving the Lemmy. Name of the chapter is Saving the Lemmy. So open your book to page number 117, that is chapter 11. Okay, so we will do this chapter today. Right. So Saving the Lemmy, it is the name of the chapter. So Lemmy is a beautiful flower, name of a beautiful flower which has got many, which is very useful for us. Okay. Let us see what can we, let us see. I will start the chapter. So point your finger, take a pencil in your hand and point your finger. Right. Now see, I will read the chapter for you first, then I will go and explaining. Kanchi, a young girl from Nepal, went to the forest with his grandmother and her brother Daju in search of the Lemmy plant. The Lemmy is a special plant that has white flowers and shiny green leaves. It is good for colds and cough and aching bones. Because people do not always look after plants and trees, there are fewer and fewer of them left. Kanchi, grandmother and Daju didn't know whether there were any Lemmy plants left. After ferrying across the river, they walked through the sal forest and a bamboo thicket, but they didn't find the Lemmy there. Let us read the story to learn what happens next. Now it's a story about a girl. Her name is Kanchi. She is a young girl from Nepal. You heard the name of the country, Nepal? Nepal is a neighboring country. Okay. So Kanchi is a young girl from Nepal, and one day what happened? She went to a forest with her grandmother and her brother Daju. Okay, actually the Nepalis they call brother as Daju. Okay. They were in search of a Lemmy plant. As I told you, Lemmy is a special plant which is very useful. Okay. Now they went to the forest in search of a Lemmy plant. The Lemmy is what? The Lemmy is a special plant that has white flowers. The Lemmy is a plant that has got white flowers and shiny green leaves. That plant has shiny green leaves. And this is useful how? It is good for colds and cough. Okay, like tulsi herb, the herb tulsi we use now for cold and cough, same way. Now it is good for colds and cough and aching bones. When there is pain in the bones, then it is very useful. And what happened, because these days people do not look after, means do not take care of the plants and trees, there are fewer and fewer of them left. So this plant, Lemmy plants, are not in abundance. Okay, now we are not getting plenty of the Lemmy plants. Okay, so now only fewer and fewer plants of Lemmys are left. Okay, because we do not take care of the plant. Okay, here now in the forest they couldn't find plenty of those trees. As we do not take care of them, so they became fewer and fewer. Kanchi, grandmother and Daju didn't know whether there are any Lemmy plants left. After ferrying, see the word meanings are given down. Ferrying means crossing a river in a boat, isn't it? So after ferrying, after crossing a river in a boat, then they walked through a sal forest. Sal is name of a tree. Okay, so a North Indian tree. So that is found in northern part of India. So what happened? They walked through the sal forest and a bamboo thicket. Thicket means what? A group of many trees. Bamboo plants are all joined together in a group. Okay. So they crossed a sal forest and a bamboo thicket, but they didn't find the Lemmy plant there. Now in the story, let us read what happened next. Right? Now they climbed higher and came to waterfall that rushed over the rocks. They stopped here for a drink. Now what happened there in the sal forest, and then they climbed higher. Okay, they are going towards the higher part of that forest and came to a waterfall. Then they came to a waterfall. Waterfall means what? A place where water falls from a higher place to lower place. Right. So they came near a waterfall. Okay, that rushed over. Rushed over means that flowed quickly, flowing very quickly. Okay, over the rocks. Now what happened? Near the waterfall, they stopped for to drink. Okay, they stopped here for a drink. They want to drink water. Now Kanchi looked carefully at all the beauty in that wet and green place. So now Kanchi was looking all around and the forest was looking so beautiful. She was looking at the beauty of the forest very carefully, and the forest was wet and green, full of greenery. Then she also looked for the five petal white flowers of the limi. Now the limi flowers, the flower of limi, it has got five petals. Okay, and it is white flower, and she was looking here and there for the limi plant, but she didn't find them near the waterfall. But she didn't find the limi plants near the waterfall. They now climbed higher where no grass grew. Now they are climbing higher where no grass grew. Only moss. Moss means what? A soft green plant that looks like a carpet. Okay, as if you have put a carpet on the ground. So there were no grasses, only you could see moss. And a small herb, and you can see a small herb. And you can see small herbs, not many herbs, beneath the tall trees. So beneath the tall trees, you can find what? Small herbs and mosses. Okay. Now turn the page to page number 118. Kanchi looked all around that greeny and mossy place for the white flowers of the limi plant. Now Kanchi was looking all around, but she didn't find them there also. Then they came to the highest place. Now they were climbing up and they came to the highest place where no tree grew, and white snow lay on the stony ground, where they could find snow lying on the stony ground. Stony means what? The land covered with lots of stones. Okay, there they could find no tree even, only the snow lying on the stony ground. The ground was full of covered with stone. Kanchi looked carefully around that white and stony place to find the starry flower of limi, but she found none there. And now Limi was continuously looking around in search of the limi plant. She was thinking that she will find the starry flowers. Means the flowers look like the stars, the shape of stars with five petals, but she didn't find. Now they walked carefully back down the steep path. Now they are coming back from that highest part. Now they are coming back down the steep path. Steep path means a road that slopes down, very steep. Okay. Along an oak forest. Now they came across a oak forest. Oak means it is a kind of tree, a kind of large tree. Okay, Kanchi looked up at the trees and at the blue sky. Kanchi was looking up at the tree and the blue and clear sky. The forest world was so wide, and the forest was very wide. There was a quick movement, and a squirrel leapt down, and there they could feel that there was a quick movement, and a squirrel just leapt down. Leapt down means made a big jump. Leapt means to make leap. To leap means to make a big jump. Now the forest world was so full of life, and the forest was full of animals, different kinds of plants. So it is said that the forest world was full of life. She looked down at the place where it had disappeared. Now she is finding the squirrel where it has gone. The squirrel disappeared in the forest. It was a tangle of tiny plants. Tangle means what? A jumble of things, means lot of things. Okay. So there are a lot of tiny plants and vines. Vines mean plant with very thin stem. Okay. So the forest was full of plants, tiny plants and vines, a small garden. Okay. The forest had so many trees also. Then she looked again. Okay, then she was looking again. At her feet, Kanchi saw a mass of white starry flowers and smelled the lovely scent. It must be Limi, grandmother, Daju, she called. Now, what happened? Then suddenly she looked again. When she was looking again at her feet, suddenly she saw a mass of white starry flowers. Then he saw a large quantity of that white starry means star-shaped flowers. And then she smelled the lovely scent of that flower. And then she is so excited. Then she thought it must be Limi, and she was calling grandmother and her brother, that is the brother Daju. Now come to the next page, page number 119. Come quickly. Then she said, come quickly. And they came. It was indeed the Limi, but it was Limi. At last they found. We must notice where it grows, said Daju as he drew the picture of the flower in his notebook. Now Daju said, we must notice that where these plants grow. Okay, and then Daju, the brother, he started drawing the flowers in his notebook. The picture of the flower he started drawing. We must not disturb it, for every plant is precious. Now he said we must not disturb the plant because every plant is precious. Precious means very useful. If we move it, it may die. If we move the plant, it may die. I will come back after the flowering and collect some seeds from planting. Now as their flowers are blooming there, he didn't want to disturb it, and he said that I'll come back after the flowering months and then collect the seed, and then I will plant those. Maybe our mountain will again have the sweet smell of Limi, finished Daju. And Daju said maybe this mountain will again be filled with the sweet smell of the Limi plant. Now the shallows were swinging in wide sweep, and these shallows were swinging. Swinging means what? Here with white speeds mean large circles. Okay, and in the valley as they near home, and they were now coming back home from there. Daju carried grandmother's umbrella and his bag. Now Raju was carrying his grandmother was carrying an umbrella with her. Now he helped her grandmother by carrying her umbrella, and he took his own bag. Grandmother carried a spray of red flowers, and now grandmother, she carried a bunch of red flowers. Spray of red flower means a small branch of red flowers. And Kanchi carried a head full of forest memories. And Kanchi, she has brought lot of memories in her head, okay, in her mind when she came back. So this is the story. Now this is just a part of what Kanchi sees and learns in the forest that day. It is just a part of a story. So where Kanchi sees what and what she learns. She learned about the special uses of the plants. She learned about the benefits, the usefulness of the plants, and how poor villagers are often paid very little money to collect it. How people, the rich people, they pay the poor villagers very small amount, very little amount of money to collect the seeds, roots, flowers and leaves for their business, for their own business, who sell them at high price. And those rich merchants, businessmen, they sell this plant, the seed, the flowers and the leaves. Okay, so yes, so where the businessmen, they sells it in higher prices. So to be a part of Kanchi's day in the forest, read her full story in Kanchi's Quest. If you want to learn more about Kanchi, then you of this story you can read the storybook, that is Kanchi's Quest. Okay, this is the story. Go through that story. Okay, thank you. And in Telegram I'll send you the question answer. Thank you.